日本で黒人のハーフとして育つっていうのはどうでした？
Say when I was in Bahamas, I was called more or less white boy. Then I come to Japan, and then of course I'm darker than everyone.
Identity is full Japanese, so I was so confused. That was tough.
Hey guys, hi there, I'm Takashi from Japan. So today I'm going to interview half Japanese, half black in Japan. Okay, let's get started. Thank you for your time. Can you introduce your background?
Okay, I'm Christy. I was born and raised in Japan. My father is from America, New York. Then my mom's from Nara, Japan.
What was it like to grow up in Japanese countryside as mixed race Japanese person?
There's few foreigners. There's so few, as you know. So like, okay. So when I was a kid, so a little kid, people see me as a really foreigner, and identity is full Japanese. So I was so confused when I was really young. That was tough. Yeah, that was tough. Until when I was 10 or 10 to 12, I had a bad bullied. Like I used to forget like anything, pencil, textbook, anything. Then if I ask them, like my friend refuses at first time because if I touch it, they said it turns darker. So don't touch it, or it's getting dirty. So I couldn't have any much more friends. But I entered the junior high school. Then I focused on to have my identity as Japanese and being black. What I learned was there's no differences from the outside, like your figure. Just if you show your inside, they'll accept you. I've learned it. But it was still not enough. That's why I changed the place to live. Left Miyazaki.
You mentioned the inside, your personality, right? What do you think about your personality? You think you're very Japanese because you were born and raised in Japan, right? But you travel abroad by yourself. That's not something that Japanese people do, especially girls, right?
Yeah.
And what do you think? What do you think about your personality?
Okay. I take challenges. So that's why maybe I had guts to go so many countries that I really want to know that culture because I I had as I was struggling to have dual culture, Japan and America. But my identity is here, but my face and my race and my blood is over there, right? So maybe the create my personality is traveling around the world, then know differences, globalized differences. So I don't know, maybe I'm chill, I'm good, I'm fine. I still don't know, I'm still figuring out.
Growing up in Japanese countryside as mixed race Japanese person was hard for you, right? You gonna raise your kids in Japan?
To be honest, no.
Oh, really? Because of what you experienced?
It's one of my reason. I don't know. I want my kid to explore more, to be globalized person. It's so close country. Japan is so close country. I feel that. The reason why I travel around the world is to decide place to live and die for good. But I still don't figure it out, and I still don't find it.
So you don't know.
The outside of Japan,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. When you're a child, like you talk with your dad, that's how you learn English?
No, he can speak Japanese so fluently. My childhood,
Everything was Japanese.
everything was Japanese. So when I was 15, we started to learn and speak English, but really hard. I don't have any pronunciation, vocabulary. I could speak 3 years old kid skill English. The reason why I learned English is my grandma. I couldn't communicate with her anything. Like if I talk with her, I put my father between us.
Okay.
Then he translated her English. That's really sad, right? So yeah, that's the biggest reason why.
Or you didn't feel connected with her
No.
because you didn't speak English at the time.
True.
Now you feel.
Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself in Japanese? お願いします。
はい。私はクリスティって言うんですけど、宮崎で育って、で、英語がずっと喋れずに、幼稚園だけちょっと向こうにいたんですけど、本当の、まあ、 日本語の状態に日本に帰ってきてっていうので、まあ、海外に行こうと思って海外に行き始めて英語を勉強するようになりました。Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
so much. じゃあ、ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。自分の自己紹介してください。
アンジェラです。お母さんが日本人で、お父さんがナイジェリア人で、日本生まれ、日本育ちです。
日本で黒人のハーフとして育つっていうのはどうでした？周りの反応とか、自分自身のアイデンティティ、自分自身の考え方とか。
小学校、中学校ぐらいまでは、周りがみんな日本人だから、なんか自分が人と違うなとかいう感覚があったり、その周りの子たちに合わせたりとかしてました。
例えばどういうことですか？例えば行動とか、見た目とか、どういう部分？
髪ストレートにしたりとかですかね。
それはいつやめました？
去年、アメリカに行って、で、そこでなんか結構いろんな人を見て、自分らしく行こうと思って、宿毛矯正やめて、今はカーリーヘアです。
その時の自分に知ってほしいこと、その当時の自分に。
でもその小中学校の時とかはもう周り日本人だらけで、もうその世界しか知らなくて、で今はもうそのアメリカとか行ったりとか、まあ日本にもたくさん外国人の方たちがいるから、もういろんな人種の人がいるんだよっていうことを、周りは世界は広いよみたいなことを教えたいですね。
ナイジェリアに行ったことはありますか？
行ったことはないです。両親が離婚してるので、ずっと日本人のお母さんと生活してきたのでないです。
お父さんに会ったことはあるんですか？
はい。
あるんですね。
はい。
でも今はずっと会ってない。
会ってないです。
ナイジェリアは自分のもう一つの国でもあるじゃないですか。行ってみたいわっていうのはありますか？それとも別になんかあんまりないですか？
いつかは行ってみたいなとは思います。
自分の国だとあまり認識してないですか？じゃあ。
難しいな。なんか、ただ血がたまたま入ってただけで、なんかそんなに重要視はしてないです。
これから海外に住む予定はありますか？
今はまだ日本なんですけど、いずれは住みたいと思ってます。
どこに？
アメリカです。
アメリカ？そのアメリカに行きたいっていう理由は、自分に対しての受け入れ方が違うっていうのは理由の一つですか？それともそれは関係ないですか？
それもありますね。
なんか、
外国人だなとか、なんか、派手な人いるなみたいな感じで結構見られたり、電車とか結構そう目立つんですけど、アメリカだったらなんか普通に馴染めるし、例えばその服素敵だねとか知らない人が話しかけてくれたりとか、そういうのが好きです。
We're gonna switch to English. Can you introduce yourself in English to my viewers?
Okay. Hi, I'm Angela. I'm half Japanese and half Nigerian. I was born and raised in Japan. I'm student and model.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Before we continue interviews, this video is sponsored by Tokyo Tree and Sakurako. Sakurako is a subscription service where you receive a monthly box filled with traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks. Sakurako helps in partnering with local Japanese snack makers to continue to share Japanese culture and tradition that have been passed down for over 100 years. This month's theme is Heritage of Nikko. In Japan, cuisine is a gateway to the past. Nikko embodies the essence of the Edo period, and Sakurako also has Japanese tableware every month. This month, I got this patchwork furoshiki. This is Hinohikari senbei, shaped like the sun. The soy sauce-based sauce embodies simplicity and depth. This is sesame anko donuts. Fluffy donuts feature sweet bean paste, offering a unique nutty flavor. Tokyo Tree is packed with latest seasonal sweets. In contrast to Sakurako, which represent traditional Japanese culture, you can feel a modern life in Japan with Tokyo Tree. This month's theme is Okinawa seaside snacking. You can explore Japan's sun-kissed paradise. Okinawa is my most favorite place in Japan, so I'm really glad. This is Piccola Lemon, filled with refreshing lemon cream and packed with vitamin C. This is Koikea salted caramel chips, crunch into this unique fusion of sweet, salty, and savor flavors. And each snack is explained so that you can see where it was produced. And you can also check allergen information. This will give you more places to go when you come to Japan. So if you would like to experience having a good quality Japanese snack around your home, click the link in the description below. Thank you for your time. Can you introduce your background?
Of course, Seon. I'm from Bahamas, and I was over there for basically almost my whole life. And then from high school, I was able to come to Japan. Oh, so my mom is actually Japanese, and my dad is from Bahamas, so I'm half. Then I went to high school over here, and then university over here as well. And then actually, just last month, I was able to start working full time in Japan as a salaryman.
So I'm gonna ask you directly, like first of all, what's it like being half Japanese, half black in Japan? Yeah, what's it like living in Japan?
I mean, it's quite interesting how when I used to come as a kid, more like every summer, it's more or less has changed in a good way. I feel like people are more accepting
Oh, you
to
think
black
so?
people compared to back then. So right now it's probably a bit more friendly. I would say like say for example, as a side job, I actually do fashion modeling now. So I would say a pretty good experience would be because of my background, I've been able to
you
do
stand-
basically I stand out in that sense, right? And then I can do some roles that maybe only people of darker color can do.
Right.
But also because I'm half, I can kind of do a bit of a hybrid in between, kind of, right? And then at the same time, because I am black, there might be some job opportunities that might not come. But at the same time, I mean, I survived this far and I still am able to do it. So, I mean, I'm pretty grateful in general, yeah.
What was it like growing up in Japan as half Japanese, like partly, from 16 years old, maybe 15 years old? What was it like at the time?
At the time, I would say it was really difficult because my Japanese back then was pretty bad. When I was still in Bahamas, I didn't go to Japanese school at all. Just basically learned a bit from my mom, and that was it. And through the years, because I went to a high school that basically was taught in Japanese only, I kind of had to survive. And then through there, I was just able to go really hard in the Japanese learning. And it's not perfect yet, but I'm still trying.
Did you ever go back since then, since you started living here?
Yeah, so I went once. I mean, it's because I basically still have family over there, so I still want to, be able to visit them. But yeah, it's just because it's so far. Like it takes more than a day even to get there. So I mean, for me, it's just really hard to make time, especially now.
Can you imagine yourself living there again in the future? Now you've been in Japan, and then I assume you get used to living in Japan, right?
I mean, Bahamas is exactly what a lot of people might think it is. Like it's really just an island with Tokyo's just all buildings and stuff. But in Bahamas, it's really just tropical island life that people would expect. So I guess there's just not as many things to do, and I think me living over there fully, I don't think that would happen again.
Oh.
But I would like, of course, maybe try to visit maybe short times or stay for a little bit. But full time, no, I don't think I would ever like be able to stay back
Okay.
fully.
What do you miss about Bahama? Something Japan doesn't have.
Well, number one on the list would definitely be the beach. Sadly, Japan doesn't have the cleanest beaches unless you go to Okinawa.
Yeah,
So that's why I actually kind of go to Okinawa pretty often. Being in a city, people are maybe a bit more colder compared to an island where, I mean, say even in Bahamas, you can go to the supermarket and you might see like a cousin or like you might see like family just at the supermarket.
Yeah.
You just don't really get that in Japan, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Have you had any like experience of having like identity crisis or thinking about your identity? Yeah, can you talk about it?
Yeah, I'd say like any half, regardless of your race, I feel like has had an identity crisis at one point, or you've had thought like, am I really this side or the next? Especially since, say when I was in Bahamas, I felt like I was called more or less white boy, even though, I mean, it's because basically everyone was darker than me. And then I started to think like, okay, if I was called white boy, do I really belong here? And then I come to Japan, and then of course I'm darker than everyone. And then you start thinking like, do I really belong here as well, right? But then eventually, I guess, you kind of realize that, I mean, you are really just whatever you are now. You can't really change it too much. You just have to kind of accept that you are just a part of both, and just accept that you are a part of both. Yeah, but definitely, I would say any half has really had that type of thought, for sure.
Like,
Yeah.
what age did you accept? Did you finally accept yourself?
I'd say maybe late teens. Being in Bahamas, I had this one way of thinking, like the whole
Right,
time. And then when I came to Japan, I was able to finally realize, like, oh, okay, even if I think that I would have fit in Japan, it's really just not that easy, right? And then maybe I should start to look at myself like just as me being here now. I mean, it's just all I have, right? So,
Like, has your life changed after you accepting yourself? Like, how did it change?
I would say if there's some racial experiences now, like since accepting myself, I'm just like, I mean, it's whatever. More, I might care not as much. If you kind of accept that, then I'm just more or less like, I mean, these things happen. Like I am different.
Can you introduce yourself in Japanese to my viewers?
say on this 生まれ育ちがバハマですけど、15歳ぐらいから日本に来て、高校からそこからずっと日本ですけど、今はサラリーマン IT 企業でやられてます。
これからもずっと日本に住む予定ですか？
大体5年ぐらいはここからいたいかな。今普通に、日本好きなんで。
ありがとうございます。
はい、ありがとうございます。
Okay, thank you for watching so far. How was it? That was interesting. I'm also planning to interview half Japanese, half Arab. I'm planning on making this video for more than a year, but I cannot make it. So if you know someone who's half Japanese, half Arab, please contact me. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, click like button. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any question you want me to ask people in Japan, please leave it a comment too. See you next time.